Can we take a quick break, actually? What's the INFP thing? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Taking online tests aren't accurate because it's biased to whoever's answering? Oh, the MBTI. Yeah, the Myers-Briggs. How accurate is this, chat? You regularly make new friends. I think I've taken this before and I was INFP. Dude, this is the problem with these tests is I don't know how to answer them, really. Wait, I get the problem because it's like, it's how your brain views. I would say disagree. I don't. You enjoy exploring unfamiliar ideas and yes. You are not easily swayed by emotional arguments. I think I am. I think I'm actually really in touch with people's emotions. Like, actually probably overly sensitive. You struggle with deadlines? I don't struggle with meeting deadlines, but I do struggle, like, with the inner turmoil that deadlines bring sometimes. Like, they can make me feel unhappy. You rarely feel insecure? You avoid making phone calls. You enjoy debating ethical dilemmas? Yeah. My biggest modus operandi is I like thoughts and I like discussing them. I think it's fun. You prioritize being sensitive over being completely honest. Yeah. I think honesty can be kind of hard for me, to be honest. It's hard to answer because there's no metric to go off for how you feel. Yeah. Oh, this is kind of hard for you guys to see. My bad. Is this better? What? We're not even close. Your living and working spaces are clean and organized? No, dude, I'm such a mess. You often feel overwhelmed? Not like often. I do feel like I probably have more of a sensitivity to like I've talked about this before with people. I feel like I can operate pretty well in like fight or flight mode. I wouldn't say I often feel overwhelmed though. Because I think if you always feel overwhelmed, you wouldn't have a sensitivity to when you're overstimulated. And I definitely have a sensitivity to when I'm overstimulated. So I think I disagree. I don't strongly disagree because... But yeah. You enjoy participating in team-based activities? I wouldn't say strongly, but like... Because sometimes I can also get overwhelmed in a team environment. Because I'm sensitive to like people's vibes. And sometimes like... I can thrive in a team environment, but also like it can kind of be too much. So I'll say, dude, this is my I overthink these questions like all the time. Sorry, I keep moving it past the screen. I'll try and keep it here so you guys can actually read it. I couldn't be the leader in a team environment. I found this at like when I was a software developer, I actually thrived more in leadership positions because it's easier for me to hold court. I mean, ironically enough, I guess streaming is kind of the same way. It's easier for me when I'm holding court versus like, I guess it's just how my brain works. Like it's, maybe it's a control issue. You enjoy participating in team-based activity. I mean, I'd say I do like team stuff, but maybe only slightly. You enjoy experimenting with new and untested approaches? Yes. I'm very creative. I like doing like crazy shit. You prioritize facts over people's feelings when determining... I disagree. Again, I mean, this is kind of what we already saw. I think I over-prioritize how other people feel. In fact, it's a detriment. Sometimes I try to get a read on how people feel, and sometimes I'll make that up. Like, sometimes I'll think the way that I think someone is feeling is the way they're feeling, and that's bad. Some of you might do the same thing. Like, I think that's a bad thing to do. You know? You often allow the day to unfold without any schedule at all? Oh, I disagree. Dude, chat, I have tried this before. And for any of you who are like doing this right now, like I do not thrive when I'm not on some sort of schedule. Like my life needs structure. I've tried this before. This shit like depresses the shit out of me. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. No, I disagree. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation? Nope. I'm very socially anxious. You are not too interested in discussions about various interpretations of creative works. Wait, oh, this is confusing because it's a double negative. No, I am very interested in this, so disagree. People's stories and emotions speak louder to you than numbers or data. Yes. Yes. I like that. I like that. What's the website called? It's 16personalities.com. I don't know how accurate it is. It just seems like a fun thing for us to do right now. I hate double negatives. Yeah, they hurt my brain. You actively seek out new experiences and knowledge areas to explore. Yes, I'm a very curious person. You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. Yeah, I come from a family of neurotic, chronic overthinkers and, what's the word? Catastrophizers. This is an inside joke in my family. We tend to, like, expect the worst, prepare for the best. Or no, prepare for the worst and also expect the worst. You enjoy solitary hobbies or activities more than group ones. I think I am introverted. I think I typically, but I do like group stuff, but I do think I'm introverted. Like, I really enjoy and prioritize my time with myself. And I find that when I don't get a lot of alone time with, like, I need to have my alone time because it recharges my battery. If I don't get this, it's bad. But I do like being around other people. You cannot imagine yourself writing fictional stories for a living? I disagree. Dude, if I could do that, I could make up a story every single day. Hence streaming. You favor efficiency in decisions, even if it means disregarding some emotional aspects. That's freaking hard, bro. I do think that, I do value efficient decision making. I think my life has kind of led me there to, like, understand that this is important. But I don't think it coming at the cost of disregarding the emotion is good. So I guess, like, yes to this, no to this. So I guess strongly disagree, maybe. Efficiency favor, in my opinion. Dude, I think that kind of emotions and how you feel about stuff is kind of God and how it governs. Like, I think if the decision doesn't feel good, there's no point in the efficiency of making that decision if it doesn't feel good. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax? I can't even relax. I don't know how to relax. But probably yes. I think I'm able to relax more when the job is done. Yeah. In disagreements, you prioritize proving your point over preserving the feelings of others. No, I don't. I think my main thing with communication is, like, I want to be able to understand where people are coming from. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. I do think that sometimes, though, like, my concern is being misunderstood. So I do think that, like, I want to make sure that I'm understood, but not at the cost of making sure that others are understood and that their feelings aren't hurt. Does that make sense? Some of these questions try to couch you out as having NPD. What's that? Not pretty disorder? You usually wait for others to introduce themselves first at social gatherings. Dude, this is something that, like, I really struggle with. I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at just, like... Actually, I've gotten really good at this recently. I've gotten really good at just, like, being like, hey, what's your name? I'm TJ. But I feel like 10 years ago, TJ was, like, very much like I had to wait. Like, I just because, like, I was too socially anxious. So I'll say a light disagree. I'll say a light agree. I'm still kind of a sub here. Your mood can change very quickly. Oh, it's narcissistic personality disorder. Sometimes I'm afraid of that. But I've talked to professionals before, and usually what they say is, like, if you're afraid of being a narcissist, you're definitely not a narcissist. But then my fear on top of that is, like, but what if, like, my brain is actually just so cognitive dissonance that, like, I've convinced myself that I'm afraid of it, but actually it comes from, like, this deep-rooted idea that, like, I need you to think that I'm actually afraid of it when I'm not actually afraid of it. And to that they say, well, it sounds like you have a lot of anxiety, but it doesn't sound like you're actually narcissistic. And I'm like, wait, me anxiety? That's insane. I've never heard that. Yes, my mood can change quickly. You usually feel more persuaded by what resonates emotionally with you than by factual arguments. Yes! Feel above all. If something feels right, I'm like, yes. That just sounds like low self-esteem, man. Don't psychoanalyze me. I don't think it's low self-esteem. It's just my brain at any given time, my brain is like chewing on like 1,000 different pieces of information, and sometimes it's overwhelming. It might be a little low self-esteem. You're probably right. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Not always. I don't know. This is something I'm kind of confused about. I can be like a very spontaneous person, but also I can kind of overplan. So I'll lightly disagree. You prioritize and plan tasks effectively, often completing them well before the deadline. Yes. This is something I learned from being in school, and I've talked about this before. Like, I used to be a chronic procrastinator, but now I think that, like, I can often be, like, way too ahead of schedule. Because now being too close to a deadline gives me anxiety. But now I think I've min-maxed my relationship with self in terms of time boxing stuff that oftentimes I'll be, like, way too ahead of schedule. I'm a last-minute warrior, not gonna lie. I tried it. It didn't work. Okay, I need to start speedrunning some of these. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. Disagree. Introvert. Become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. Disagree. I love theories. When facts and feelings conflict, you usually find yourself following your heart. Yes. Follow your heart, chat. You find it challenging to maintain a consistent work or study schedule. Disagree. I'm pretty locked in terms of discipline. Right now, it's been kind of hard, but by and large, no. You rarely second guess the choices that you made. Your friends would describe you as lively and outgoing? I don't know. I don't know. Why are they asking me what I think about what other people think of me? That's a slippery slope. I think I disagree. I think the people closest to me would describe me as a bit of a wallflower. When you're not playing Bloodbath, you're outgoing probably. No, I did like, and again, I think that this is one of those things like, I think that I'm an introverted person because the same thing happened to me when I was a theater person. Yeah, I also find that kind of question weird. Like, I would be super outgoing and like this bombastic energy, but like I can channel it when it's like a specific setting. But when I'm just kind of in like a social setting for the sake of socializing, I'm quieter. And I think that's because I'm introverted. But like, I know how to like channel it. It's just like, I think that if you watch my stream, there's a possibility you would walk away with the idea of like, wow, look at how extroverted TJ is. But I'm really not. It's more like I'm able to channel it in this setting because like my brain understands this setting. I hope that makes sense. I don't really know. You're drawn to various forms of creative expression such as writing? Yes. Usually base your choices on objective facts rather than emotional impressions? Disagree. You like to have a to-do list for each day. I find that a to-do list for each day helps me, but do I like having the to-do list? No. I feel like a big issue I have is I recognize the necessity of having a to-do list in my life in order to actually get shit done. Because when I don't have a to-do list, I'm just floating in space. But again, dude, I'm overthinking these questions. That doesn't mean I like having a to-do list though. Because I do think some people like, they make to-do lists each day and they're like, but I don't get satisfaction out of it. It's like, I do it because I have to. But I wish that I didn't have to have a to-do list. I'll just say agree. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure? No. You find the idea of networking and promoting yourself to strangers very daunting? Yeah. I mean, I just think in general, like, anything that has to do with, like, people is, like, a lot for me. Complex and novel ideas excite you more than simple and straightforward ones? Yeah. Yeah. You can easily connect with people you've just met. I think one-on-one, yes. And I'll speak to this, because maybe some of you watching right now can relate. Like, as an introvert, I feel like I thrive in one-on-one situations. But I think like where I cap out is like around like 3 people in a group, I start getting like, oh, who should I be listening to right now? You know? But I do think in one-on-one situations, I think I can find common ground pretty easily. But I could be wrong. I see that some of these questions are similar, so it tries to even out your answers. I do think that that's what's happening. Yeah, I don't think my issue is being able to connect with others. I think my issue with people is when there's too many of them, I get scared. Like, a lot people, I don't know what to do. A little people, I kind of know what to do, you know? One person, we're jamming. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. GD reference. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. Friend group of 4 is meta for me. It's funny you say that. I do think that, like, yes. There's something to, like, the group of 4. But I'm saying, like, that's after you've built rapport. I'm saying, like, a small group setting, it's like, if there's 2 other people, including me, that's about where I cap out if it's, like, unfamiliar folk. But yeah, like a familiar group, 4 is very good. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. Yeah, I don't know. This is another hard question for me because I do think that, like, the structure of my life helps me. And yes, like, sometimes when, like, my schedule is interrupted, it can kind of be a point of friction for me. I'll agree. I don't really know. You're still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago? Nah, dude, I'm an easy breezy individual. I'd never be bothered by stuff that happened 10 years ago. You're not too interested in discussing theories on what the world could look like in the future. No, dude, I love that shit. Your emotions control you more than you control them. I think I've gotten better about this in recent years. I do think that I'm an emotional person, though. But this is a tricky question. I think I'm a passionate person, so I'll agree. When making decisions, you focus more on how the affected people might feel than on what is most logical or efficient. Yeah. Probably to a detriment. Guys, I don't change the sub goal until after the stream. It's one of the things that I've talked about. Like, I don't like moving goalposts. Like, I want us all to be happy that we met the sub goal in this specific stream. I don't want to change it. I'll change it for next stream. But, like, we did that, you know? We did that, and I think it's important to kind of sit in the fact that we did that today. Thanks to all the subs. Any primers right now? Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. Again, I think that my artistic creative soul, yes. But I found that the greatest return on my own creative productivity has been from organized and consistent efforts, a la the past year and change of me streaming, is because I made a dedicated effort of showing up. Yes. I think that the reason why I've been able to become a consistent and solid streamer is because I made the goal of, like, for those of you who don't know, last May, I made the goal of, by May 2026, I want to have streamed 1,000 hours over the past year. And I think that creatively, again, as an individual, I think that it's important to follow the spontaneity and bursts of energy and to, like, have that flow and creativity of your inner child of, like, oh, what's exciting me on the day? But I do think that in terms of actual covering ground and, like, making and new ground and, like, getting to where you want to be as like a career artist, it comes from organized and consistent effort. Showing up on days where the burst of energy isn't necessarily there, but you do need to follow, like, whatever manifests on the day. So that being said, this is how I wish I could be, but this is the way this life and my reality seems to have told me works actually best for me. So it's a hard question. I wish I could be this kind of creator, and I think I'm this kind of creator, but I've had to be a little more regimented and specific and targeted. So I guess I'll just agree. Or no, spontaneous versus, oh my God, dude, this is so hard. This one broke my brain. I'm sorry. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it'll take them to feel disappointed in you. This is a low self-esteem thing. I think that's a fear that people have, though. Like, I would be lying if I said I didn't have this fear at all. I do think that with most of my relationships with people, I have a bit of a fear of like, I hope I don't disappoint them. But it's not a thing that governs me. I think it's just something, it's one of those things where like your thoughts can kind of move towards this negative thing, but it's not like something that like is always there. Yeah, this feels more like the wording of like, this is constantly in your head. This is a long quiz. I think we're almost done. I'm sorry. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed in you. I'm gonna go, I don't strongly disagree because it's definitely something I think about sometimes. I'll lightly disagree. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time? Yes! I've talked about this before. Every time I feel kind of like pissed off or like done up with even streaming, I'm just like, dude, I want to work with animals. Because I even found this with like being a software developer. And like even when like I work customer service, the through line of every job and every job that has pissed me off, it's dealing with people. So for anyone who's like working a job right now, again, like customer service, where like you're forced to deal with like customers every single fucking day, dude, I know how it feels. It sucks. It's like soul sucking. When you have to deal with people who suck, it's like, that is like the hardest thing about work. And honestly, what I liked about being a software developer was I got to work with like a small group. But even that, eventually you have to deal with other people. Like you have to deal with like clients, you have to deal with like product managers, and that's the part of the job that sucks. But when you're just kind of like working on your own shit, it's like fine. So yeah, I'd agree. I think my favorite, like my dream job would be like I could just like sit on a farm, taking care of animals and growing crops and taking care of nature, and I would never really need to deal with anybody. Yeah. Which I guess to some people might sound depressing, but dude, I like dealing with people is so frustrating. Yo, get back on Bloodbath, Mud. We're almost done with the quiz. I will hop back on Bloodbath. I want to be a teacher because you mostly work alone in the sense of you kind of being your own boss. Yeah, like I do think that, and it's funny because I think teachers are very similar to streamers because like you kind of, the same way a teacher builds a curriculum, as a streamer, you kind of like, okay, what am I presenting today? You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I think it's another common thing where it's like, I think that introverted people can also thrive in a teaching and like lecturer environment because whereas on the outside looking in, it seems like, oh, they must like be good with working with people because they're, you know, they're working with the students, they're working with chat, they're working with like, you know, literally there are people there when they do it. But I think it's more of like a solitary planned thing than maybe some people would be aware of. Because ultimately, like I have a chat, but I am just kind of monologuing, right? I am just kind of like following whatever my brain is like, say these words, brain, and I do that, you know? You guys are here right now, but are you? You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time? No, I think that this is the most important thing. I think that people don't do this enough. I think that this is something that we've lost in our modern world, and I've ranted about this a lot on stream. I think that you don't have to be an introverted person to introspect. And I think in our modern reality where there's like a bunch of algorithms and stuff, and there's a bunch of distractions, there's a bunch of games you could be playing, there's a bunch of stuff on any given day, rather than being alone with your thoughts and your emotions and journaling and processing those things, you could just live in a constant state of distraction. And I'm not saying that these questions are important because we all have to come to the same conclusion as like the human species. Like, I'm not saying we all have to be on the same page, but I think it's important for individual fulfillment and developing a sense of self to be on the same page with you, with yourself. And I think when you're distracted and you're ignoring that and you're not asking yourself these questions, that's bad for you. And yes, one could pause it and go beyond that and say what is bad for the individual is also bad for the collective. But that's a deeper topic. But I think that that's why that's something I often preach on my stream is I think that people should journal more. I think that they should, maybe if meditating's for you, yes, but certainly be more mindful, be more in your body. be more in the now. But certainly I think that journaling and actually like reflecting on your day and your life and being in tune with what is and isn't working for you on an emotional and spiritual level, that is something that I think greatly benefits from asking yourself and pondering these questions with yourself. You feel more drawn to busy, bustling atmospheres than to quiet, intimate places? Disagree, bro. Again, I think my deepest environment where I thrive is I'm sprawled out on a chaise lounge. It is a rainy day. I'm sitting near a window. I'm looking out it, and I am writing in my journal. Perhaps writing a song, perhaps writing a poem, perhaps writing down my plans for my life. Who knows? But that is my happy place. Those gentle, quiet moments. To disagree. If a decision feels right to you, you often act on it without needing further proof. I am someone very connected to the feel of something, but I am a chronic second guesser. I like thinking things through. I think that's a lot of the friction of my inner life. Is oftentimes I have a very strong intuition, but I have a brain that's like, are you sure about that? But I do think that there's a lot of value in consideration, because I do think that that's something, again, that like some people do not consider enough. Some people consider too much, but I do think consideration is good. It's just, again, you need to be mindful about it. You can't just be stuck in a constant state of consideration. You have to be intentional with your consideration. So yeah, I probably won't slightly disagree with, I won't strongly disagree. I have a very strong sense of intuition that I often do not trust. Or not often, but sometimes I don't trust it. But I have like this pull inside me that's just like, do this, do this, do this. And like sometimes like, should I? Teej, do you think people can truly change who they are? Yes. I do believe in the capacity of change for an individual, but it takes a lot of work and it takes like conscious, consistent effort. I don't think people can change by accident, but I do think, and neuroscience recently has very much, there is research that backs this, especially with like cognitive behavioral therapy. One of the best ways that you can change yourself, and how I've changed myself, because I've talked about this before. I've gone through like bouts in my life where I've been majorly depressed. I've gone through bouts in my life where I'm just dealing with a bunch of stuff and I don't know how to take it. CBT and like journaling and that kind of thing has been what's helped me the most. So that is what I often parrot and what I often recommend for people who have no kind of direction or no kind of idea for how to tackle some of this stuff. But it does take conscious effort. Most of the way we work and function is automatic. It's autopilot. But there are unconscious things that were developed during the formative years of our lives. CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy. It basically is the idea, it is the study of the way you can change as an individual is first by changing the way that your cognition behaves. So for example, the way you tackle the therapy is not necessarily of like, oh, what happened to you when you were a kid? You know, like that is helpful. And that is the school of thought of therapy that existed for much of the 20th century, is just like, oh, why are you the way you are? It's more, what thoughts are you regularly having on a day-to-day basis? And if they're like negative thoughts, they're probably coming from this deeply rooted negative belief system that you have. And so how do we teach you how to challenge those negative thoughts and form more positive ones that can eventually potentially trickle down and help reprogram these belief systems that are rooted into your being? Exactly. Things that you would otherwise do automatically, how do we make this conscious? So like, for example, if you're someone where you feel like you would self-identify yourself as a chronic negative thinker, you could do the thing that like other addicts have of like, put a rubber band, I've done this before, put a rubber band on your wrist. Anytime you have a negative thought, hit yourself. Because it's about building a conscious awareness around that. Because if you're not consciously aware of every time you're being like a negative Nancy, how are you supposed to take the reins and try to reprogram your own unconscious negativity? I definitely expect the worst and overthink things. I shouldn't a lot. I think a lot of us do. Again, it's a symptom of the modern era. But the only way we can potentially combat that or change is, again, to nurture a conscious awareness. That's step 1. 2, and this is the really hard part, you have to learn to challenge yourself. When you have a random thought of like, I'm not good enough. Oh, why me? Why should I do this? The next step is journaling that, writing down when you have that thought and being like, okay, like, screw this guy. Like, screw this negative part of my brain. Why not me? How do I do, you know, like, and that's the hard part. But first you need to have conscious awareness about it. Anyway, yes, I believe people can change. Do I think that changing is easy? No, I think it's the hardest fucking thing most of us are ever going to have to do in our life. But I do think that you can do it, and you should feel empowered to do it. But you should know it's not easy. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Yeah, I can be a perfectionist. I want to do a slight agree to be like a nonchalant cool guy, but it's a little more. I won't strongly agree, but yeah, I can be a perfectionist. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. Again, perfectionism, yeah, I try not to skip stuff. You prefer tasks that require you to come up with creative solutions rather than follow concrete steps? Yes. You're more likely to rely on emotional intuition than logical reasoning when making choice? Yes. You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists? Again, I don't like it, but I recognize the use of it, so slightly agree. Feel confident that things will work out for you. Wow, that's a humdinger of a last question, bro. Depends on the day. But yeah, I think my sense of intuition is like, yeah, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right, chat. Wait, what? No, is this one of those things where I have to have it emailed? Oh, no, it's optional. Oh, this is all optional. See results. Oh, wow. Typically, I've gotten INFP. Oh, my bad, chat. Let me move this over for you. I got INFJ. I've gotten INFP in the past. As an INFJ advocate, you possess a unique... Okay, sorry. I just made that smaller so you guys could see that. How do I move this so you guys can actually see this? As an INFJ advocate, you possess a unique combination of idealism and insight that sets you apart in today's world. Your rich inner life is characterized by complex emotions, vivid imagination, and a deep well of empathy that allows you to connect with others on a profound level. You have an unwavering commitment to your principles and an intense desire to make a positive impact on the world around you. I don't give a shit about anybody. No, I'm kidding. Your natural ability to understand and interpret the feelings and motivations of others is both a gift and a challenge. Yeah, dude, try my chat every single day. While it enables you to form deep, meaningful connections and offer invaluable support to those around you, it can also leave you feeling overwhelmed by the emotions and needs of others. You often find yourself torn between your desire to help and your need for privacy and solitude. They're fucking reading me to filth! What the hell, bro? This is the hardest part about streaming for me. Like, I'm trying to help people and I can feel some of the pain you guys are going through, but also I need to recognize that, like, it's not my duty to save you. Huh, duty. 83% introverted. Okay, this makes more sense. I've taken this before, chat, and I'm usually on the P side. So this is like the one that's mostly middling. I think I probably just like, I don't know, I'm in a bit of like a second guessing era of my life. So maybe this used to be, maybe I used to be an IFP and now I'm just wait, what was I again? INFJ. This is 16personalities.com. So yes, I'm 83% introverted, 98% intuitive. This is not like, if there was any strong thing, I'm definitely very intuition-based and feeling-based, yes. And turbulent. I don't know what this one means. Oh wait, I should read these. You likely prefer fewer yet deep and meaningful social interaction, feel drawn to calmer environments. Yes. You're likely very imaginative and open-minded, focusing on hidden meanings and distant possibilities. Yes. You likely value emotional expression and sensitivity, prioritizing empathy, social harmony, and cooperation. Yes, dude, I love harmony. I love when everybody's getting along. You're likely organized, decisive, and thorough, valuing structure and planning over spontaneity. Again, this is like, I think I think no. I think literally just like this past year and change of me grinding streaming has like shifted me more this way. But again, it's not my sense of self. My sense of self is so much more like, I don't want to be this. And most of the friction of my life is like forcing myself to be this way when I want to just be like every single day. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I think I overthought a lot of my answers in this realm of things. I think I'm more this way. I'm not very organized. This is a skill that I've had to develop because it is not how I am. You're likely self-conscious, sensitive to stress, success-driven, perfectionistic, and eager to improve. Ouch. Your perfectionist tendencies drive you to constantly improve yourself in the world around you. This relentless pursuit of growth and meaning can both be exhilarating and exhausting. You have a knack for seeing potential and possibilities where others might not. But you may struggle to bring your visionary ideas into reality due to self-doubt or fear of criticism. I mean, I get criticized every day, bro. It is what it is. This is how I was certainly 10 years ago, though. You possess a rare combination of creativity and analytical ability. That makes sense. This is why my brain feels like it's crazy, because I feel like I'm a very creative individual, but also like I can't, sometimes I'm over calculative. Your intuitive understanding of complex systems and human nature allows you to devise innovative solutions to challenging problems. However, your sensitivity to criticism and tendency to internalize stress can sometimes hold you back from fully expressing your unique gifts. Learning to balance your idealism with practicality and self-care is a key part of your personal journey. No! Go, 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 go! Never stop, never stopping. My career path, streamer. In your professional life, you're driven by a deep-seated need to find work that aligns with your values and allows you to make a meaningful difference. Yeah, dude, like I cannot do shit that I don't care about. But I think that's most people, no? You thrive in environments that offer opportunities for personal growth, creativity, and the chance to positively impact others' lives. Yes! I think that if the thing that you have to do like every single freaking day is not helping you grow and change positively as a person and help others, that is a waste of your time and life. Your natural empathy and insight make you particularly well suited for roles in counseling. No! Damn it, my chat's been telling me that I need to become a therapist. I don't wanna, bro. I'm not trying to be y'all's therapist. I just want to be a clown. Counseling, healthcare, education, or nonprofit organizations. However, your idealism can sometimes clash with the realities of the working world. Yeah, no kidding, bro. The way the world works just does not suit me. Probably not a lot of you either. Can you just be our jester? I'm saying, bro, I wish. You may struggle with mundane tasks or office politics. This is why I left the corporate world, bro. For as long as I live, chat, I'm gonna need to figure something else out. What I learned over the past 10 years of my life before streaming, I can't do the corporate world, bro. The corporate work sucks. I can't ever do that again. Preferring to focus on the bigger picture and long-term goals, finding a balance between your need for meaningful work and the practical aspects of career is crucial for your professional satisfaction. Yeah, look for opportunities that allow you to exercise your creativity and work independently while still contributing to a larger purpose. I feel like we found that with streaming, no? Damn, there's a lot to read here, bro. Dude, they actually read me to filth. This is my personal... Your journey of personal growth is deeply intertwined with your quest for authenticity and self-understanding. Guys, I literally rave about this on stream every day. Dude, I know myself. I literally whinge all the time about, like, I feel like people are afraid of being authentic. I feel like people are afraid of being intimate. I feel like people are afraid of connecting with others. I feel like people are having trouble understanding themselves. Of course, people rant about what's most important to them. You have an innate drive to continually improve yourself and actualize your potential. Yeah. This often involves deep introspection, exploring your complex emotions, and striving to align your actions with your core values. Your growth path may lead you to explore various philosophies, spiritual practices, or creative pursuits as you seek to understand yourself and your place in the world. A key challenge in your personal development is learning to balance your idealistic nature with practical realities. Absolutely true. This might involve developing assertiveness skills to express your needs and set boundaries, or cultivating resilience to handle criticism and setbacks. Fairs, bro. Embracing imperfection and learning to value your unique gifts without constant comparison to others are also important steps on your path to self-acceptance and fulfillment. Dude, how much... Okay, we just have relationships left. We're almost done, chat. In your relationships, you seek deep, authentic connections that go beyond surface level. I absolutely agree, yeah. I've gotten better in my, like, I do ascribe to, like, the classic, like, introvert, like, I hate small talk. I've gotten over that as an adult. I think small talk has its place and it's actually important. But yeah, especially when I was an adolescent, I was like, God, can we talk about the political and economic state of the world? You know, like, I was very self-important in that regard. I think that there's great value and beauty in surface level interactions, actually. I've come around on that. But I do crave deeper connection, I think. Your empathy and intuitive understanding of others makes you a valued friend and partner, capable of offering profound insights and unwavering support. You have a gift for creating safe spaces where others feel comfortable sharing their true selves. My stream, that's important to me. And you derive great satisfaction from helping those close to you grow and flourish. Yeah, I want the people in my life to be the best versions of themselves. And I like to celebrate the people in my life and make them feel loved and nurtured and cared for. Go ahead. Go ahead and hate me. Sorry. Sorry, I love. I'm sorry, I love. However, your own need for privacy and tendency to keep your innermost thoughts and feelings hidden can sometimes create barriers in relationships. Oops. You may struggle to open up fully, fearing vulnerability or misunderstanding. Wait, I'm someone who craves and prioritizes vulnerability and understanding, but it's also an obstacle to me? Huh. Finding a balance between your desire for deep connections and your need for independence and alone time is crucial for your relationship satisfaction. Learning to communicate your needs clearly and managing your idealistic expectations of others will help you build and maintain the meaningful, fulfilling relationships you crave. Well, okay. I guess I'm going to be having an existential crisis off stream today. Guys, well, hopefully that got you to know me better. That was actually really fun. I like sharing myself with you. Bless you, Teej. Bless all of you here. I'm really glad that we followed the fun there and we just kind of did that, because that was illuminating. I hope that you guys were able to learn more about yourself through that, maybe. I don't know. Or at least that was interesting. This is why I like to watch your streams, because I feel like I always learn something new. I feel like that gave us a lot to talk about. That was fun. I also feel insecure because I just talked about myself for a very long time, and I'm sorry about that. But I think you guys liked it. Did you like that? Don't even pretend like you didn't. You made it that far in the video. Well, did you know that I stream Monday through Friday on Twitch and YouTube, and you could catch me live and get to be a part of the experience when it happens? Also, if you don't care about that, or otherwise you want to see more of the video that you just watched, link in the description to watch the full VOD. Do that, please. I have a black eye because I play basketball sometimes. Bye. Oh.